So today we're going to be making several pages in your interactive notebook that are going to be preparing you for our new story, which is called Thank You, Ma'am. And one of the big focuses for Thank You, Ma'am is all about character and how authors describe characters physically, how they describe how a character acts, and they use character traits and characterization to do those things. So we're going to be making some pages. When you came in, you needed to pick up at the tray. You should have this one that looks like a bunch of charts with words. These are just a list of character traits because you're going to need them to do some of the work, and this is just a nice list. Then you have a sheet of notes about what characterization is. Instead of writing all these, we're just going to give them to you, and then we're going to do some highlighting. Then we're going to be reading a fable called The Fox and the Goat. And if you remember from our genre unit, a fable is a short story, usually includes characters that are animals, and then it's going to teach you some sort of moral or lesson. We're going to use The Fox and the Goat to do a little practice with indirect characterization. So the first thing you're going to want to do is simply cut these out, and it's fairly easy. This one cuts out around the rounded corner. Same with this one. This one you're going to want to cut as closely to the boxes and the words as you can. Keep this. This is your title. So you're just going to kind of cut a rectangle around. And then these, you're going to want to cut each set separately. You're going to have a total of 5. So I'm going to go ahead and let you pause the video right now and cut all of those out. Okay, now that you have them cut out, we're going to start by going to our table of contents. All of these pages are going to be in the fiction section. So I'm going to go to my fiction table of contents, and I'm going to write on page, this is going to be on pages 11, 12, and 13. So page 11 is going to be character traits. And there will be some directions on the screen with this, but you can write with me if you want. Page 11 is going to be character traits. Both 12 and 13 are going to be characterization. Now that's a big word, so I'll spell it. C-H-A-R-A-C-T-E-R-I-Z-A-T-I-O-N. Whew. Now we'll just write that again. It's on page 13 as well. So we've got our table of contents. Now I'm going to go to page 11. You should be right after your advanced plot techniques, page 11. What we're going to put on page 11 are these little character trait charts. Mine are colored on the little categories at the top. You can go back and color them later if you have time. Right now we're just going to try to get them on the page. Now we have to put these on the page in a little bit of a unique way, kind of like a puzzle, so we can lift and see all of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. I want you to grab hardworking and lazy. So these are opposites. These are all words that describe someone who's hardworking. These are words that describe someone who's lazy. And then I'm going to have you grab nice and mean. Again, opposites, words that describe. These two, we are going to glue all the way down to the page, but we're going to glue them sideways like this. So I'm simply going to put 4 dots, 1 in each corner. Doesn't take much. I'm going to put the first one down, and I'm putting it pretty much even with that blue line because something has to go above that in a moment. Then I'm going to do the same 4 dots. And then we'll go put that right here, like so. Then we're going to take the other 2. We have happy, sad, and mad, smart, and silly. And these are going to be going over these. However, we can't glue them down here. What we're going to do instead is we're going to glue them the last 2 rows. So then it lifts like a flap, and we can still see the full list underneath. So again, I'm going to take the last 2 rows. So I'm simply going to put a dot kind of in the bottom corner. We don't want any glue up here, because again, then we're going to layer, and we're going to make sure we can flap that up and still see all of those terms. So we're just going to repeat that again. Bottom corner, and then we're just going to make sure when we line it up, we're not getting any glue here. And then you also want to be careful, don't use too much glue, because it might squirt out and glue here. So this way we can still see all of our lists. And then our very last one, it's a little bit bigger, positive and negative words. We're going to glue this one only across the top tab. So then we can lift it and still get to the ones underneath. So I'm only going to put glue in the upper left and the upper right. I may throw one just right there in the middle just to be sure. And then I'm going to glue this one in the white space. So it's a little higher. You don't want to accidentally put it too far down. And then we can lift. And then I'm going to use a colored pencil. I'm going to use a pen. And I just want you to write character traits in this open corner. We made this page simply so you would have a list of traits. You're going to need these as we do our thank you ma'am work in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and have you pause the video, go ahead and assemble this page. If you need to go back and play it again, great, but we'll make page 11. Okay, now we're going to make page 12. This one is fairly simple, and you'll notice I cut around the notes and it fits just right. There's already a title, all of the notes. So all you're going to do is I'm going to use a frame. So I am going to glue, since this is a bigger piece, I'm not going to do just the corners, really thin line of glue in a frame around the notes. I'm going to carefully pick it up, center it, kind of press it to the page, and that one's done. So go ahead and pause that. We will be going over these notes in the next video when we talk about indirect characterization. So for now, just get it on the page and you should be good. So go ahead and pause the video and make page 12. Now our final page, which is page 13, is going to involve our story, the fox and the goat, and some indirect characterization practice. And we are going to layer these two with the story underneath and the practice up above as a flap. So again, fairly simple. Flip it over. I'm going to use a frame, thin line of glue all the way around. Do not glue anywhere in the middle. You never need glue in the middle. Carefully flip it over. We're going to put it a little bit towards the bottom of the page just because we need to leave room up here because our next one is going to be a flap. So this one, right up here where it says indirect characterization, color that later if you want, that's where I'm going to put a thin strip of glue. So it just sits right above. So I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to make a thin line right across the top, and I'm going to position it over the story in the white space so then we can look at the story and do our work. So go ahead, that's our last page. Finish it up and you should have the pages ready for our work that's coming.